G'day mates, how's it going? You're on DirtByte. Welcome back to our survival farming vlog. Now, I just had a call from the store and they think that they have fixed the issue with the planter. It is going to cost us $1,500. It was just some blockages, they said, and they're hopeful that it's going to work okay now. They said just to come by a hook on and then we can just pop in and pay. The reason I wanted to get it sorted today is that last day for planting corn in our field, which is the final crop I want to plant this year. So before we head over there, we're just going to quickly head into the store and pay. So I'll do that and I'll meet you back here in a second. Okay, that's all paid for. They're happy for us to take it now. They said it should have no issues working. So hopefully they are correct because, yeah, I don't want to miss the window of opportunity we have to plant this corn in our field. So I just did a slalom through here. We probably should have put it in the proper transport mode, but considering we're so close, I figured it was fine just to tow it like this. The planting of the corn is pretty much the top priority for the first job today. We will definitely be getting the goats and moving on to that as soon as we can. We have the hay or the grass for them now, but we need to make sure that this is planted in preparation because, yeah, this is important. So let's just, hopefully it's going to work now. So let's turn the machine on so it turns on okay. Lower it down and then let's hopefully it works. So it looks like it is. Let's just jump out and make sure that with seed and everything's coming out as it should be. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, definitely corn in there. So that's good. So we're pretty well right to go. Let's jump back into the white 8810 and get underway with this. So today we plan to get this done and then we'll get our goats bought. We may not be able to get them today because by the time we finish this, the store or the animal dealer may be closed because it is getting a bit later in the day. So it may be something we have to do in the next day or in June in this case, which isn't going to be too much of a problem. We do have the hay for them, like we said, or the grass. And then, yeah, I don't know how many we're going to get. We probably don't want to get, probably want to get enough, but maybe not too many. Maybe 30 or 40 to start with. I suppose the big point is what age group do we get? I'm sort of thinking we get a mix, so maybe half in the middle age group, not ready to produce milk yet, but getting close. And then possibly the smallest type, so half as the smallest type that'll grow up and that saves a bit of money. That way we'll have also a good varied age difference between our animals. Because the plan would be that we keep them for a certain period of time and then we sell them and there's the new ones are born and grow up, then we just keep the new ones on. So we're making a bit of money from selling the new goats as well. Because of that, I'm thinking about getting an actual animal transport trailer. Yes, I know that we can get the saw to deliver them and there's a small fee for that. I don't think it's too much. But if we're going to try and use the excess goats or the new goats as they grow up and develop into adult goats after a certain period, maybe like 48 months old or something, I'm not exactly sure yet, selling them off. If we have our own transport trailer, then we're actually going to be able to make more profit. I'm not sure how much transport trailers are initially, probably quite expensive, but we can check that out at the store. Actually, what we may do is when we finish this first run, once we start heading down the long side again, I'll bring up the store's online web app and we'll have a look to see if they've got any of the animal transports in stock, and if so, how much they may be. Let's just get lined up again. Alright, we put the cruise control on, lower it down. So we've got a few seconds to have a look at the store. So we'll need to go down to the animal category that they've got here somewhere. Animal transport. So that one's for horses. This one here can take 13 sheep or goats in our case, and then this one could take 38. I think probably have to go with the middle size one because we don't have a truck or a dollar yet, so its cruise control didn't work properly. So yeah, so 25,000, which probably isn't too bad. So, and we could take 13 at a time, so maybe 2 loads of the medium age goats and 2 loads of the small goats would be what, 26, 52 all up. I think it's probably a good place to start off because the enclosure can hold like 120 or so, so just less than half full. And then as the the goats grow, they'll obviously reproduce and we can get more goats to fill in the enclosure. So I think that's probably what we'll do. But first and foremost, we've got to get this field planted. So we'll cut out, we'll do this via a time-lapse. That seems probably the best way to get this done. This nice wide planter shouldn't take too long.
Some chase horizons they can't see. We chase cattle and our own 2 feet. Simple truth and honest sweat and soil. Simple reward for honest toil. And when the work is done, when the last gate swings, there's a bottle away. Cold as mountain springs. Lost on the glass, and the sweet release. Lost on the glass, and the days that
there we go. That's the final field drilled for this season. I don't assume we'll be drilling anything else this year, possibly, maybe at the end of the year, depending on what our plans are for the coming year, but it's definitely, for this season, all of our fields are now drilled, they're fertilized, they're ready to go, ready to grow, really, if you think about it, and then the next stage will be harvesting for all of our fields. So, pretty happy with that, pretty impressed with how that's gone, nice and quick. So I'm just going to pull this over here. But again, just when we get into the stage where we're going to need another shed because we are getting so much equipment now. Let's disconnect this here. I just want to head over to the goat's house, to the new pasture over here. I want to see how many we can actually get into this area, just so we can have a bit of an idea of how many we should get initially. I think we can, yeah, so it's 125 we can get in here. And we can bring up the animal dealer's portal to see what they're charging for the goats. So obviously we can get sheep, but we are going to go for goats. So $200 for the really little, just born baby goats. 308 for the medium or the large size goats, and 488 for the 8-month goats that are ready to produce milk and produce new goats. I'm just looking at, so effectively it's $50 to transport them over. So if we look at that, we could potentially just get the entire lot like this. Let's just say, so 10 goats, $500. I think it's going to be worth getting the trailer, because we're going to probably be moving quite a few goats and different animals back and forward. So over time, that fee will add up quite quickly, and it depends on the size of the goat. So the older the goat, the more the fee. So the 3-month-old goats is 37, and the 0-month-old goats is 30. But again, it's going to add up over time. I just think while we have a bit of money, we should be getting the transport trailer. It'll help us out when we do the other sorts of animals that we trying to work towards, like cows. That would be my ultimate goal, is to set up a cow farm. But again, that's a very expensive exercise, so we've still got a long way ahead for that. I just think, yeah, I think it's worth getting the trailer now. So we're going to go head over to the store and get that. They've got one in stock. And then we'll head straight over to the animal dealer where we'll be able to get our first load of goats. So I'll meet you over at the animal dealer when we're ready to load up. So here's our nice new shiny trailer. And we just did a pull up over here. I think that this is possibly where we can get to load them up. Let's just jump out and we'll talk to someone. Got people over there. Hey mate, how you going? Where do we load up some goats? Oh yep, just over here, that's alright. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to jump into the tractor and unfold the trailer, open up the back. So that we can start loading our animals in. While we're here, we can then have a look at the menu to see what we want to get. So we can select our miniature goats, or our new goats, 0 month old. So we're going to put a total of 13 to start with, like I said. So we buy them, 2,600. So there we go, they're all in there. They obviously look like they're having a bit of a sleep. Seems like a very weird way for them to be situated for being transported, but obviously they must be pretty tired. I mean, they are only new, so that's fine. We'll take these ones over. I reckon we should get one trailer load worth of the 0 month old goats, and we'll get 2 trailer loads worth of the 3 month old ones. That'll be the way to go. That'll be 13, 26, 39, I think, in total, which is probably a good place to start. We can continually buy more goats as we see fit as we are moving through. I think just to get started, that's a good place to be, because we still have other things we need to do, and we don't have very much income for a little while. Now, I'm assuming that I can just reverse up to that door just there, and we can unload the goats in that area. So if we just drive forward a little bit further, get the trailer pointed in the right direction, get it around without trying to hit our new U-Butte shed. Alright, so that's pretty close. Let's see if we can unload them there. So let's have to open. I'm assuming that we can just go around here and offload them. Yeah, so I had to open the door first, obviously, that's, you know, part of it. And I had to just reposition the trailer so it's a little bit closer. So we've got our 13 goats, and we can put them straight into our enclosure. Let's have a look to see if we can see them in our field. So here they are, the little cute little goats. Come here, little goatie. Oh yeah, look at it. They're already enjoying the nice field pasture, and they're grazing, so that's really good. Hello, little goat. How are you going? So we've got 13. So now we need to get the rest. So, like I said, we'll get some of the 3 month old ones now. I think we'll do a couple of loads. We'll head over, and what we can do we'll do it as a bit of a time lapse, because it's going to be a bit of back and forward, a bit of shuttle work. So yeah, I think time lapse will be suited. Once we've got enough over here, we'll bring you back in. There we go. So I ended up getting 4 trailer loads of goats in total. So we got 1 trailer load, so 13 of the youngest ones. Oh, this is too heavy for this tractor without a weight on. I think I'll just take it easy to just get over there. But we need a weight when we start moving these properly later. And we got 2 trailer loads of the 3-month-old goats, and I decided to get 1 trailer load of the 8-month-old goats, so they're ready for milking and breeding. So that way we already have that stock of goats, so they're going to start making us some money. So there we go. So the first bale has been put in. We're going to need a couple of bales, I would imagine, for these little guys. There's little baby ones. Here's one of our more mature goats. G'day, mate. How you going? It's ready for reducing milk. Another little baby. So we have, yeah, a good variety of the ages in our goat field. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm assuming that they're all here. Doesn't look like any have escaped. A bit hard to see because obviously the little baby goats are not like just as tall as the grass almost, especially when they're laying down. Alright, so we might as well get 1 more bale brought over with the tractor now. Make sure that they're fully stocked up. The good thing about these enclosures is the fact that the water and everything is plumbed up. So effectively all we need to do is drop off the bales and just take care of them. Make sure they're all in good health and stuff. There's no water to bring over or anything like that, which is a good thing. Given that this tractor struggles without a weight on, I think I'm just going to drive straight through the grass, straight ahead, and do a bit of a wheelie, or a mono rather, and then, yeah, come screaming in, hot and heavy. Okay, we should be able to drop that one there off. Perfect. So let's just jump out and see how they're going for how much food they've got. So they've got 11,500 litres of hay or grass in there. And so that's a full trough's worth. And then there's plenty of meadow grass there as well. So these goats are all pretty good to go now and start their job. And that's to turn the grass into milk to make us money. So there we go. They're good and free to do as they please now. Ooh. Goats obviously found something nice on the concrete there. You know, there's a whole field out there, buddy. You should go and explore. While we have got the tractor, we probably should get some of this grass brought in. I can see on the end of this enclosure, there's a little bit of a indent, a little pit there. So I wonder if we can store some of our grass bales in there. So we don't have a huge amount. Like there's only, what do we make, like 6? There's only another 4 to bring in. So we probably just put them in there. That would be the best way. Just going to go and grab the weight and we'll start bringing the bales in. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So we've got a nice heavy weight on the back. I'm wondering if we can pick 2 bales up at a time with it. I'm suspecting not, given the fact that the bales we were just moving were like very heavy and we didn't have the weight on. So effectively 1.1 tons each. So if we can put a second one on the front, that would mean that we're able to pick up 2.2 tons on the front of this tractor. With the weight, I think is probably only maybe close to 1 ton or 900 kilos. So I don't know if it's actually possible. But there's only really one way to find out, isn't there? So let's just line that up. Just pull forward a little bit, just gently. Not too much. Yep, that should be good. Now the test comes. Can we pick 2 up? I'm sure we can pick 2 up, but can we actually move? Yeah, it looks like. I think I just need to be careful because yeah, there's a lot of front weight on that axle, and the back is trying to pick up. But I think if we just drive gently and in straight lines and minimize turning, we should be able to do this without any sort of issues too much. Now these should just, yes, these are going to go in here nicely. I mean, we only have 2 more to bring over, so... Alright, let's go and grab the other 2. And then we'll stack them up as well. There we go, easy does it. This tractor is really, really impressive at the moment. That's a huge weight to have on the front. And yeah, it's handling it quite well. Well, brakes aren't so effective though when you have, well, a combined total of probably like, what, 3 tons? Plus the tractor weight. But yeah, no, that's good. So our goats are all happy. They've got food, they've got water, they've even got some lamps there to keep them nice and warm. So I think we can possibly move ahead to the next month. Let me just have a look around, see what there is left to do, and then we'll bring you back in soon. It seems like there's only one more thing to do this month, that is to head down to our field by the dam and do the weeding. Now, I suspect I can actually see a little bit of fog already down there. So with this, it's just one of those jobs I'm going to go and do myself. Once it's done, I'll just stay down here, go to sleep, and I'll bring you back in for the rest of this vlog in a new day. So I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a nice, beautiful day. Like, it was not like this when I did the weeding. I don't have the foggiest idea if I have got all the weeds, both literally and figuratively, because when I was in the field working right here, you could not see the tent. It was so foggy. I'm pretty sure it almost ended up in the dam a couple of times. It was pretty sketchy. It was pretty dangerous to be working like we were. So I'm glad it's done. I think that's possibly one weed that I did miss there. I mean, that's right next to the tree. Luckily, I didn't run into the tree with our machine, because that would have really been bad. It would have damaged it. So what we're going to do is I want to go and check on our goats straight away. I've been thinking about them all night, and I really hope that they have settled in well. We're going to go and check on them. I was also thinking of the fact that they've got a nice new home, which has got heating and everything. I'm still living in a tent. So it might be time that I start looking at getting some sort of alternate accommodation. I'm not sure we're in the position yet to be able to buy, or, buy a house to build. So we might need to look at something else. And I would like to be up here closer to where the farm is. Well, it's really nice down here by the river, and it's a nice place to visit. But a lot of our work is up here around our yard. That's where all of our machines and now our animals are. And I would much prefer to be closer to all that if possible, especially our animals, so I can check on them, and I can hear if there's any sort of issues overnight. I can race out and have a look, because down by the creek or down by the dam you don't hear very much other than some insects and some frogs, which is really peaceful and relaxing, but I don't know what's happening up on the farm. So I will have to look into what our options are. I still think we're a little ways off from getting it. We are down to 54,600. We're a little ways off from harvesting, so there's no income from that. We do have our hothouse that is producing, and I'm sure there's a considerable amount of produce there that needs to be sold. But again, we need to be cautious of our money. We're not out of the woods yet, and now we do have the $125,000 loan for the what have we got? The animal enclosure that we've got. So we do need to start paying that back soon. It is like a normal loan. Interest and everything is charged on it, as you would expect. The only difference from it was that we was able to borrow more than what we probably would have been able to be normally, just as an extra incentive to start the animal husbandry works. So we've got, in debt now, and we have got other things that we need to be getting on with. So let's go and check on the goats first. I'm not sure what else we can get done at the moment. It looks like everything is pretty well smooth sailing at this point. Alright, so here we are. So the goats look like they're happy. Yeah, they're wandering around. Doesn't look like there's any sort of injured goats. Looks like they've settled in quite well. It doesn't look like there's any goats that may have escaped this beautiful fencing. I can, but the goats can't jump over it. So I think that's all good. I do notice that there is a tin or a pallet of goat milk sitting there. It won't have very much in it yet. It will be quite a while to fill these up. But let's have a look to see inside. So there's 100 litres there, which, I mean, it's pretty good, really. The 100 litres that's in there now, or roughly, let's have a look to see how much we'd be able to get from it if we sold it today. So if we go into the prices, we've just got plain goat's milk. So it'll be G, goat milk. It's pretty much as low as we can get. So effectively, we've got $760 pretty much there, which I think is quite impressive. I do think that we're going to make some good money from this. So the goats are all happy, crops are all done. I suppose what we could do is we could finish cutting the grass over here so we can get it all fertilized today. It would have been nice to do it all at once because they're going to be at slightly different growth stages for a little while. But it was a bit of a test to see if the grass was going to grow any further, which it does seem to be thicker. So I think it did need an extra month, but that's okay. We'll know for next time. So I'm going to jump into the Massey Ferguson and we'll hook onto the double sickle bar mower and we'll get that piece mode. It does a timelapse. It shouldn't take too long. The mowing is the slowest part of the grass processing for us at the moment because, yeah, it is such a small mower. But I'm glad that we did get that one because if we got the more expensive mower, our bank balance would be looking very, very poor. We'd be like $10,000 left, which is not very good considering we have that loan stuff to pay back. So we'll get stuck into this and I'll see you once it's all completed. Going to finish this little piece off. I figured while we had the mower out we might as well come over here and cut this piece of meadow grass. It's pretty decent quality grass. There's not very many weeds in it, so I thought, well, why not? We might get a bale or two out of it. It all goes towards keeping our goats happy, especially through the winter time when the meadow grass is no longer growing. I think that, yeah, I reckon they'll probably get a couple of bales from this anyway. I would hope so. It's actually pretty decent quality grass considering it's not something that's actually farmed. We haven't fertilized it or anything like that. It's just naturally grown. So we're pretty well done with the mower for a while anyway. Because, yeah, we've got no more grass to mow until later in the year possibly. Maybe even it might be next year now before we get to use this mower again. And squeeze through there. Oh yeah, what we call expert reversing. So yeah, desperately in the need of another shed. Like our yard was looking so nice and tidy until our expansion in the last episode was extra equipment. So I think once we get our crops done this year, we should be looking at spending some money expanding our yard again, getting a nice shed to put all this stuff in. Right, let's get this unfolded. So we'll get the windrowing done as well today, in today's vlog. It shouldn't take too long. It's probably going to be what, maybe 4 or 5 passes with the windrower in this section, and then possibly maybe 7 in the other area. I think it's all going to be worth it. Hopefully we're going to get another, I'd like to say at least another 4 bales from both this area and the other area, maybe 5. That might be nice. Alright, let's get going down this side. Yep, alright, perfect. Away we go. So, yeah. Once this is obviously baled, we'll be able to get in here and get some fertilizer on this section so it can grow really thick and long for the next cut. There's definitely going to be enough, well, I'm hoping that there's definitely going to be enough food here with what we've cut now and the meadow grass to keep our goats happy. Obviously at the moment we have 50 something goats, just half full pen. So they're going to reproduce, and there's going to be more baby goats to come along as the months tick by. So we need to make sure we have a good stockpile of food for when we do get a lot more hungry goat mouths to feed. I intend to probably keep the pen at maybe, it won't be full, it will probably be maybe a maximum of 100 goats. That might be a good way to manage it, as we get to 100 goats, we sell the excess, the oldest ones, sell them off, maybe 20, whatever it might be, even at just one trailer load, and let them build back up again. So that's the way to make that extra bit of income from the new goats as they're being born. Alright, one more pass here. I noticed when I was doing the mowing over there, the deer are out and about, which is a nice touch. They're getting a bit more used to us moving around. They just sometimes come out of the forest just to enjoy some of our grass. There's only a couple around, which is fine. I wouldn't want too many around because this grass is supposed to be for our animals that we are farming. At some point, a deer farming may be a good option, but I don't think that's something that we'll be looking into at this point throughout our expansion plans. Sticking with the standard animals, goats now. We will be getting chooks at some point, and I would love to get dairy cows, like I said before. We'll just have to see how it all plays out. So I'm going to get in, I'm going to get the rest of this windrow. We might as well do this as a bit of a time lapse. It shouldn't take too long to do, I wouldn't imagine. But we'll get this done, we'll see what the time's like. We might have to get the baler hooked on, but I reckon the baling will be left for the next vlog. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, that didn't take long at all. I just want to tidy up this end piece to drag all of the grass off of our gravel driveway there. I don't want the baler to go through and be picking up and running on the gravel, but it should be okay just like that. So there we go. We have been very productive today, and getting the sheep has been such a big milestone too for our farm. It's a very big turning point, and I think that, well, I know I'm very proud of how I've been going so far with this. Like, to start with a loan and some basic machines, to be able to afford to have a builder build a big enclosure like this, and now we fill it with 52 sheep. That's a really big milestone and landmark for our farm progression. So I'm very, very happy with the results of today's vlog. Not to mention the fact that we've got our corn planted in here, which is looking absolutely amazing. It looks perfect, actually. It does need weeding, so we'll need to get into there and weed it next time. And also, look at this, we've got more and more swaths of grass to be baled up next time. So we're definitely heading in the right direction. Thank you very much for joining me on my vlog journey. If you're keen to see how we go with the weeding, or how many bales we get from what we've baled today, or how many litres of milk we end up with in 6 months time from our goats, please do remember to like and subscribe. And for now, keep your boots dirty and your bites clean, and I'll catch you next time on DirtByte.